Okay, here we have the first test of the Dreamcast hooked to my new Astro City. It's currently hooked up with a HAP Universal Video Converter, which takes VGA input and output standard or medium res. Right now I'm running it as standard res, just because I haven't opened up the back of the machine to make the monitor medium res. Picture's actually not that bad considering it's standard res. At this point I don't have sound hooked up yet. I do have an amp, I just haven't hooked it up yet. Turn on the light to get a better picture of the temporary hookup. Alright, here it is. Not very pretty, but it does work. Got a Dreamcast going into a VGA converter, which I've modified with a switch to output 15 or 31 Hertz, so I could run this straight into an arcade monitor with a hacked VGA cable. For this purpose though, I had a universal video converter lying around that I mentioned before, and I put it into a project box. Here's the project box. There's a little hole in the top so I can access the dip switches, change it to medium res or standard res, as well as some of the other options on the card. VGA just plugs in, so what I could also do is hook a PC up to it and display a PC on the cabinet, which is kind of why I did it, so I could switch between the two. I've got a JAMA fingerboard in there wired up to the controls in the cabinet. The new Astro City 6-button panel uses a separate connector for the other 3 buttons that are non-JAMA standard, so I've got an extra one of those connectors and wired it up for player 1 and player 2. Obviously I haven't hacked a second Dreamcast pad yet. The extra connector on top of the box here is for a service button, test button, coin button, and ground. I could have put those in the Dreamcast connector empty slots since I'm only using 6 out of 12, but at the time I didn't think of that. So that's pretty much it. Hacked Mad Catz controller. Kind of went connector happy here. You can see there's all kinds of different Molex connectors there connecting everything together, but at least this way, if any part ever goes bad, the single part can be replaced without having to clip wires and resolder things. As I said, I'll eventually get an amp in here so I can get stereo sound out of the cabinet. This doesn't look like it's going to take a very good picture of the inside because it's too dark in there. That's it. Just wanted to make a little video of my first time firing up the Dreamcast hooked to the arcade cabinet. Actually, let's see if it starts. Okay, there we go. So it looks like everything's working.